We're going to begin tonight with the strange suicide of the 39. It's very strange. The 18 men and 21 women whose bodies were found last night just north of San Diego may well have considered that now was the time to leave this world because they had been given the ultimate gift of everlasting life.
March 26, 1997 was a day of shock and confusion for the world. On that evening, sheriff's deputies in Rancho Santa Fe, California, discovered something both horrifying and haunting. 39 bodies, meticulously arranged in a sprawling mansion on Colina Norte. It would become one of the most notorious tragedies in modern history. Heaven's Gate. For years, a small group of people had lived in this mansion, seemingly disconnected from the world. They believed they were preparing to ascend to a higher spiritual realm, abandoning their human bodies to reach a state of purity beyond earthly existence. Their leader, Marshall Applewhite, who went by the name Do, and his partner Bonnie Nettles, known as T, had founded Heaven's Gate in the early 1970s. The two shared a belief in extraterrestrial beings and a vision that humanity needed to transcend its earthly limitations to join a higher, more enlightened existence. They blended aspects of Christianity, New Age thinking, and UFO lore into a unique spiritual ideology. For many years, Ty and Do led a nomadic life, quietly spreading their message. Their teachings were unconventional, drawing from a mix of esoteric spiritual beliefs and apocalyptic prophecies. They claimed that an advanced extraterrestrial race was awaiting to take selected humans aboard a spacecraft. This spacecraft, they believed, would follow Comet Hale-Bopp, which appeared in the skies in 1995. The comet was interpreted as a divine sign that their departure was imminent. Ty and Do first crossed paths in 1972, when Marshall Applewhite, a former music teacher, and Bonnie Nettles, a nurse, found a deep connection. Both were in personal turmoil, seeking meaning and answers. Nettles believed she was receiving messages from extraterrestrial beings and convinced Applewhite that they were destined to fulfill a cosmic mission. They began preaching to small groups about the need to leave Earth, which they saw as doomed and corrupt. According to their beliefs, only by shedding human desires, including sexuality, could they transcend to the next level of spiritual evolution. They renamed themselves Do and Ty, aligning themselves with a higher cosmic force, and began recruiting followers. The teachings of Heaven's Gate became stricter over time. Followers, known as students, lived by rigorous rules. They were required to dress alike, cut their hair to uniform lengths, and refrain from personal relationships. Their lives revolved around strict discipline and separation from the outside world. Sexuality was banned. Even the act of having children was considered a hindrance to their ascension. From the mid-1970s to the early 1980s, the group lived a mostly nomadic life, avoiding attention. They stayed in remote locations, often moving from city to city. By the 1990s, Heaven's Gate had a small but devoted following. They were known to have operated in secrecy, and many of their followers had cut ties with their families. For years, Heaven's Gate was a quiet, enigmatic presence. As the years passed, the group's beliefs evolved. They came to see Earth as a recycling of sorts, a place to be purged and renewed. The next level, the term used by Do and T, was a place beyond the physical universe where pure beings could live without earthly constraints. Only those who had completely purified themselves by abandoning their human desires would be worthy of ascension. Followers believed that their vehicle, which refers to human body, was merely a shell. The true essence of who they were resided in their soul. For many, this led to a commitment to purification. Some underwent surgical castration to rid themselves of sexual desire, seeing it as a final step toward cleansing their earthly form. In 1985, T died from cancer. Her death could have shattered the group's faith, but Do reframed her passing as a graduation. T had simply exited her vehicle and ascended to the next level. Do assured the group that T's soul had moved on to the next level, and that they would follow in due time. From then on, the group focused even more intently on preparing for their final journey. Do became the sole leader, and his teachings became more apocalyptic. He increasingly emphasized that death was not an end, but a necessary step in the spiritual evolution of the group. In the years following T's death, Do continued to preach that the next level was not a metaphor, but an actual destination. To reach this level, the group would need to rid themselves of all earthly attachments, including their physical bodies. In 1995, Comet Hale-Bopp appeared in the sky. Its bright, glowing presence was visible, even to the naked eye. For Heaven's Gate, this was the moment they had been waiting for. Do and the group believed that behind the comet was a spacecraft sent by the extraterrestrial beings to take them to the next level. The appearance of Hale-Bopp was seen as the fulfillment of prophecy. Dew believed that the comet was a sign that the group's time had come. He began speaking more openly about the group's departure from Earth, now framed as the only way to escape the planet's impending recycling. The group's life in Rancho Santa Fe had already been filled with signs that they were preparing for something momentous.
Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us. Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
By 1996, Heaven's Gate had settled into a 9,200 square foot mansion in Rancho Santa Fe. Their home was in a secluded area, and outwardly the group lived a quiet, orderly existence. They even operated a web design business called Higher Source, which they used to generate income. While they maintained a business front, their true purpose was far darker. Over the following months, they began preparing for what they called exit, a term they used for the act of leaving their earthly bodies behind. The members continued to live in complete isolation, with no contact from the outside world. In the days leading up to their deaths, the members of Heaven's Gate recorded farewell videos, in which they spoke calmly about their decision to leave Earth.
And is there anything in particular you would like to say? What would I like to say? Oh goodness. There's so much I want to say to you. Well, just about anything that would be of any significance to you.
A number of people, just to see a number of people express some interest in saying something on camera to the people that might, get this tape. And we just wondered if, if you had anything particularly you wanted to say to people.
Well, I just want to let everyone know how lucky and happy I feel to be here, and let you know that what we're about to do is certainly nothing to...
The videos were chilling in their serenity. Each member expressed excitement about their journey, their faces calm and at peace. On March 26, 1997, Dew and his followers carried out their plan. They ingested phenobarbital mixed with applesauce or pudding, washed down with vodka, and placed plastic bags over their heads to ensure suffocation. The bodies were found laid out in bunk beds, covered in purple shrouds. The members had each left a $5 bill and 3 quarters in their pockets, symbols of their final journey. Prepared for an imagined journey to the stars, sheriff's deputies arrived at the mansion after an anonymous tip-off. When they found the bodies, the scene was unnervingly methodical, with each member in the same position as if following a ritual they had been taught for years.
Sheriff's deputies released a videotape of the scene inside the house taken by their officers. It shows room after room, body after body. The coroner said the group appeared to use a combination of drugs, alcohol, and plastic bags to kill themselves.
News of the mass suicide quickly spread, with media outlets worldwide covering the story. Many reports focused on the bizarre details, the matching Nike sneakers, the purple shrouds, and the fact that the group had operated a website. The website was maintained by 2 surviving members of the group, who continued to believe in the teachings of Dew and T. The Heaven's Gate story sparked debates about belief, manipulation, and the lengths people can be convinced to go in pursuit of spiritual or existential answers. While some dismissed the event as the actions of a cult, others saw it as a tragic reminder of the dangers of blind faith. The Heaven's Gate tragedy is not just about UFOs or mass suicide. It's about the human need for meaning, belonging, and escape, and the extremes to which people will go when those needs are not fulfilled in healthy ways. It's about the power of conviction and the danger of placing absolute trust in any ideology or leader without question. As we reflect on the lives lost on that fateful day, we must consider the vulnerability of the human spirit and the importance of critical thinking, community, and the search for genuine understanding. The members of Heaven's Gate believed they were walking toward the light. Instead, they stepped into the dark. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps this new channel grow. Your support means a lot since I'm putting a ton of effort into these videos. Also, drop a comment below. It not only helps YouTube push the content to more people, but it also lets me know what topics you'd like me to cover next.